हरेण नागं निहितं गुहायां बिभ्राजते तद्यतयो विशन्ति वेदान्तविज्ञानगुणिश्रितार्था सन्न्यासयोगाद्यतयः शुद्धसत्त्वाः ते ब्रह्मलोके कुहरान्तकाले परामृतात् परिमुच्यन्ति सर्वे दह्रं विभावं परमेश्वरयः पुण्डरीकं पुरमध्यगव्यस्थम् तत्राभिदह्रं गगनं विशोकस्तस्मिन् यदन्तस्तदुपाधितव्यम् यो वेदादौ स्वरः प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रगतिलीनस्य यः परः स महेश्वरः ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः।
करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि अरात्रिकं समर्पयामि भगवान् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव चरण कमलेभ्यो नमः। ओम नित्यानंदम।
Great. Let's get started with a prayer. Nithyanandam Paramasukatam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tatvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. I'm so happy today to welcome everyone to this great occasion, Today is the grand celebration of the 15th anniversary of KAILASA, Los Angeles, Nithyanandeshwara Hindu Temple here in Montclair, California. 15 years ago, on Diwali Day, which is a momentous celebratory occasion for Hindus, November 7th in 2007, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, His Divine Holiness, Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, inaugurated this very temple. Since then, this temple has been an embassy for Kailasa, the revival of the enlightened civilizational nation. This center has stood for sharing the ideas of living enlightenment for all, irrespective of gender, caste, color, creed, gender identity, sexual preference, or any other external differences. To celebrate this momentous 15th anniversary occasion, we have held many celebrations throughout this month. On October 23rd, which was Diwali Day this year, we had our first grand celebration for every member of this community to come together to celebrate this momentous occasion. On November 6th, we had the second event where we invited Hindu leaders from all over California for a think tank. And today, we continue this celebration by having another think tank, the topic being Jivan Mukti, or Living Enlightenment, for inspiring youth leadership. And I'm so glad all of you are here to participate with us in this celebration and this think tank. Today, we are honored to be in the presence of prominent interfaith leaders and leaders in Southern California, mayors, congresswomen, and their representatives, coming from organizations all over California to discuss this important topic. I'm so glad all of you are here. My very warm welcome. We are also going to honor many of these leaders with Kailasa Om Awards, recognizing their contribution to spirituality, faith, and supporting living enlightenment and Hinduism for all of humanity. I am really looking forward to this afternoon. Hope all of you have a great time. Let us start with an introduction to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the reviver of the nation of Kailasa. Before that, I want to recognize all the leaders who are here. And I'm going to read out their names and where they are from. Sofia Siqueiro, representative for Norma Torres, Congresswoman. Coriza Martinez, council member, City of Montclair. Deborah Dost Porada, council member, City of Ontario. Scott Olson, senior minister, Ahaya Center. Sri Abhinav Mehta, who is a Vastu expert. Sri Ashok Desai, who is an entrepreneur and also very much part of Kailasa, Los Angeles. Sri Amrit Bhandari, who is from Jain Center. Sri Keshav Patel ji, who is the president of VHP America, LA chapter. Ms. Vasu Pawar, who is the CEO of Step to Step Up. Sarumati Shivakumar, who is the VHP America president and also Excel Foundation CEO. Ashok Patnaik, Parks Commissioner, City of Cerritos. Patty Wilderson, yoga instructor and author. Deborah Bordeaux, who is the CEO of Zushi USA. Bhikkhuni Dhammasurya, a Buddhist practitioner. Bante Nyanwara, who is from the Azusa Myanmar Monastery. Ragbir Baga, who is from Gopio, VP of Gopio, he's a community leader. Keval Khanda, community leader and Gopio member. Bante Maitri, who is from the Atangala Royal Temple. We also have representatives today from the Brahma Kumari organization. Rose Murali Krishnan, who's CEO of Spring Nectar Foundation. And Sherry Bonanno, who's Special Projects Manager at the Hollywood Food Coalition. I welcome all our special guests today and their families. Thank you so much for being with us on this special occasion. So now let us get started with an introduction to the grand narrative of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which is also the story of the nation of Kailasa. Kailasa, USA has been an embassy for the nation of Kailasa, which is serving all of humanity by enlightening human beings. Let's hear some more about Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, who we fondly call Swamiji. The grand narrative of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also the grand narrative of the revival of the nation of Kailasa. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is regarded and worshipped as the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva, who is the original author of the science of enlightenment as per Hinduism. He is the reviver of the enlightenment ecosystem of Sri Kailasa, the first nation for practicing Hindus worldwide. He is one of the most prolific authors, most watched spiritual teacher worldwide. In fact, he's been granted 2 world records by the Asia Book of Records for the most books published by one author, which is 1,123. In fact, this is also higher than the Guinness Book of World Records, and so we are in the process of changing this in the Guinness Book of World Records. And also the most hours of public discourse by one person, 289,929, which includes 1 hour of discourse Swamiji gave 2 weeks ago in the Hindu think tank on 7,407 topics. His videos have been watched by over 1 billion people on social media. Swamiji was born in Tiruvannamalai, and those who are adept at the Hindu science of enlightenment recognized him as an incarnation from a very young age. So he was nurtured from a very young age as the incarnation of Paramashiva, who is the author of the science of enlightenment, and he was also coronated at the age of 16 to revive the nation of Kailasa, which is the Hindu civilizational nation which represents all of living enlightenment. And ever since then, Swamiji has gone through many coronations, and he is one of the people who has been coronated as a large number of monastery kingdoms in India. He was initiated into Bala Sannyas, which is the youth sannyas, and Chaturmasya at a very young age of 3. He was coronated in 1988 as the future Guru Mahasannidhanam or Pontiff of Tondai Mandala Adinam, which is one of the oldest universities and oldest monasteries in the world. He is declared as a successor of Arunachala Sarvagnya Peetham, which is the monastery in the birthplace of Swamiji, by that Guru Parampara in 1994. In 1999, he founded the mission Nithyananda Sangha to revive Kailasa internationally. He was also coronated as a successor of the Kasi Sarvagnya Peetha. Sarvagnya Peetha are the huge major monastery kingdoms that are established in India to preserve and protect the science of enlightenment and Hinduism. In 2002, he founded the Adi Kailasa Sarvagnya Peetham. In 2004, he was declared as a successor of Bhagyanagara Sripura Sarvagnya Peetham. In 2004 again, he was declared as the incumbent emperor of Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajyam of the Surya Vamsa lineage. And Surya Vamsa lineage is one of the oldest lineages of emperors in the history of India. He is also the reviver of the Adi Pallava Sarvagnya Peetham, which is an ancient Sarvagnya Peetha which is associated with great builders and architects of South India. In 2007, he was also declared as the Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akada. This is one of the largest monastic bodies established by Adi Shankara many thousands of years ago. In 2012, he was coronated as the 293rd Guru Maha Sannidhana of Madurai, Shamala Sarvagnya Peetham. This is the oldest Hindu papal state. And also it's a monastic kingdom established by one of the avatars or incarnations of Shiva, Paramashiva, many thousands of years ago. In 2013, he was also officially coronated as the Mahamandaleshwar, which is a spiritual head, of Mahanirvani Akada, which is again the largest apex body of Hindu spiritual practitioners in India, and declared as the Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, which is the highest position in that order, for Atal Akada. And Atal Akada is again one of the largest monastic orders of Hinduism in India. In 2014, as the Guru Maha Sannidhanam of Tanjavur Adinam, and then Thiruvarur Adinam, and then in 2015, by a congregation of 1,000 Hindu leaders, he was selected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And in 2018, of course, Swamiji declared officially the sovereign revival of the sovereign state of Kailasa when he established it with territory in this world. And Swamiji has been working tirelessly ever since the beginning. In fact, you will see that many of the buildings that he built when in his youth, even the bricks were actually built by him hand by hand, one by one. So he has been working tirelessly ever since the beginning. And he has been teaching not only in India, but all over the world. And he started traveling to the US in the early 2000s, and he established many temples in the US and all over the United States. We have about 12 temples in the United States today, each of which act as the de facto embassy for Kailasa. And ever since a young age, he's been conducting these mass living enlightenment camps all over the world. Here you can see pictures in South India, in Oklahoma, and in other places. One of the biggest gatherings in the world, which is the Kumbh Mela. In Kumbh Mela, 130 million people gather every 4 years to celebrate Hinduism. And in Nasik Kumbh Mela especially, this was one of the largest gatherings ever. And in our camp, Swamiji conducted mass living enlightenment camps, where every day we had over 130,000, 140,000 people attending those camps and getting free meals. And same thing happened in Kumbh Mela in Ujjain in 2016. Swamiji not only works very closely with Hindu leaders, but he also works with leaders of all faith for establishing living enlightenment as a lifestyle. Swamiji has established 108 Sri Kailasas uniting nations. So the United Nations has certain agenda, but there are many initiatives that are left behind, which Swamiji has brought many nations together to in favor of all these important causes which have been neglected. For example, how to help people who have in birthing and pregnancy, how to promote freedom of opinion and expression, which is actually a very difficult problem today all over the world with fake news and so many other issues. How to bring nations against lawfare, so on and so forth. But I can give you a couple of examples. For example, the No Hungry Home project, which is actually conducted by the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Nutritious Food and Hunger-Free World, has so far served over 1 billion meals in the past 27 years. And even today, 100,000 meals are served daily, free of cost. And this center alone, for example, Kailasa, USA, Kailasa, Los Angeles, this center alone, in 2022, we have served over 15,000 free meals, both inside the center as well as outside. One of the biggest initiatives by the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Affordable and Holistic Healthcare was during the pandemic. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism actually announced that all his monasteries and campuses would be converted into multi-layer quarantine facilities during the pandemic, which means it was free for anybody, irrespective of any differences, external differences. Doesn't matter age, gender, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, everybody was welcome. Thousands of families actually came and stayed in the monasteries. They had free food, they had free internet, and free accommodation, and they were welcome to continue with their lives except in a completely free and safe environment. And so thousands of families actually have been served during the pandemic by Swamiji. The Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Education, Reform and Development, via that department, Swamiji's established Nithyananda Hindu University, which is actually located in this very center, this place. It is the largest Hindu university in the world with over 270,000 enrollments. And last year alone, we had 30,000 people enrolled in classes all over the world. Over 500 classes were conducted only in 2022, like so far. And the year is not done yet. And the amazing part about work on education is Swamiji has done amazing research into what it takes children into learning and learning ahead of their age. For example, children who come into the Gurukuls, they actually, within 2 to 3 years, 40% of them test at genius levels, and about 65% of them are testing at 2 to 3 years ahead of their physical age. And through Third Eye Awakening and many other yogic practices, the amount of contribution Swamiji has made to education is actually unbelievable. The Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for protecting scriptures, actually this center is very deeply involved in that. You will actually see a Jnanalaya or a library which we have started to build. And Swamiji has collected and preserved over 1 million scriptures, and most of them are converted into digital images. Like many scriptures are actually written on palm leaves, which are not translated. And nobody has done research on them. So he's collected about 15 terabytes of digital books and rare manuscripts from all the 19 different Sarvagnya Pita, which is all the different sampradayas of Hinduism. And all of them are available online for anybody to do free research. And the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Global Peace and Religious Harmony has conducted meditation programs via a program called Minutes for Peace. And research all over the world has shown that meditation in a city or in an urban environment actually reduces crime. So far, we have done about 4 billion minutes of meditations, Minutes for Peace, all over the world. And again, so many things Swamiji has done for global peace and religious harmony, bringing together many international leaders, many leaders of multiple faiths in what is called a confluence of peace. And that confluence of peace actually happened here many times. The first time being in 2006, and Swamiji himself conducted in 2006 and 2007. Many people here have participated in that Kumbh Mela, which was conducted here. And Kumbh Mela is, like I said, 130 million people attend in India. And it has been conducted for as long as time by the Akhil Bharatiya Akhada Parishad. And they value Kumbh Mela very, very deeply, and they value the brand very closely. But they have granted Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, exclusive right to conduct Kumbh Mela outside of India. So that is how much the elite bodies of Hinduism who are in charge of protecting Hinduism trust Swamiji to spread this science. One of the biggest works that Swamiji has done is for feminine empowerment and gender equality. In fact, he has established women-only universities in multiple places. Especially there was one in India, which was only for women, run by women, funded by women. The work that he's done for microfinancing for women, the work he's done for empowering women by creating centers exclusively for them and women's literacy is just unparalleled. And in fact, one of the reasons why Swamiji is being persecuted for over 12 years now is because he fights for gender equality in religion. And as we know, not everybody accepts gender equality in religion, and many extremist organizations have been very opposed to him to allowing women to be priests and women to be participate in temples. The Nithyananda Yoga, the Kailasa Uniting Nations Nithyananda Yoga, and this is very interesting because Swamiji has revived so many different aspects of original authentic yoga. What the West knows as yoga is actually very, very simple form of yoga, which is devoid of the core powers of Hinduism. And Swamiji has revived the original authentic science, and he's published a volume 1 of Nithyananda Yoga, which actually shows for each posture where the original source comes from the Hindu scriptures, what it means, what the powers are, and how to exactly do it. In addition to that, he has been awarded multiple Guinness World Records related to yoga. One of them is the largest rope yoga combine and the largest pole yoga classes. And very recently, Swamiji has been conducted many other Asia Book of Records related to yoga. The most number of people who are sitting in Padmasana, which is a lotus posture for the longest amount of time. I will come to that list of awards very soon. But he has not only revived authentic yoga, but also made it more and more popular in this modern days. So Swamiji's established, all this is towards the establishment of the sovereign state of Sri Kailasa. Kailasa is the revival of the ancient Hindu civilizational nation, and it has sovereign territory in multiple places today. It is the first nation for over 2 billion practicing Hindus worldwide. It is the ancient Hindu civilizational nation used to exist in 56 countries many years ago. Over a period of time, through persecution, not only these nations have been destroyed, but the science that is behind them has also been destroyed. So Swamiji's primary goal is to preserve, protect, and spread the science of enlightenment, the art of living enlightenment, worldwide. Like I said, Kailasa has sovereign territory in multiple places. We have a jurisprudence, a Supreme Court established. We have licenses to run banks in more than 27 places. In 6 countries, Kailasa's currency has been accepted as a mainstream currency. And in 2 more places, Kailasa's currency is accepted as private currency. In 30 universities, Kailasa runs the Nithyananda Hindu University. And it has also developed independent sea and air routes that stitch together multiple sovereign places for the land of Sri Kailasa. This is an amazing accomplishment, which is a very historical accomplishment by any respect. Over the years, as I said, because of Swamiji's progressive stance towards gender equality, equality of people in religion, he has been persecuted non-stop. There's been over 70 assassination attempts on him, many attacks on his community members, continuous lawfare, intersectional persecution using government mechanism. But the beauty of Swamiji is that he has been contributing to the world non-stop, irrespective of all this persecution. And in recognition of this persecution, United Nations accepted all our reports in recognition of this persecution. In fact, they accepted 2 more reports just 2 days ago. Our very first ambassador to the United Nations spoke on the issue of minority issues and how the Hindu diaspora around the world were actually persecuted. And we have a video which we can share with you. This is a significant milestone in the history of Hinduism and also the sovereign state of Sri Kailasa. And Sri Nithya Moksha Priyananda, he's the ambassador of Kailasa who spoke at the United Nations Forum on the systematic persecution and the generational attack on Hindu indigenous nations. And like I said, even though Swamiji has been persecuted for years, his contribution to the world has been non-stop. And for that, he's been recognized continuously over the decade by multiple cities, governments, countries, mayors, and organizations all over the world. Many places have actually declared multiple days in the year, actually January 3rd, as Kailasa's Nithyananda Day. For example, over 200 proclamations and certificates from statements over 15 countries. Over 37 cities across 4 countries have declared Kailasa's SPH's birthday as Nithyananda Day. And Kailasa has diplomatic relationship with many, many local governments all over the world, 24 cities, 1 state across 13 countries. So briefly about Kailasa USA and Kailasa Los Angeles. We are, of course, a non-profit organization that represents the nation of Kailasa and acts as its de facto embassy. In 2022 alone, like I said, we had conducted over 500 classes with 30,000 online participants, over 40,000 man-hours of volunteering, over 25,000 free meals served. Recently, Swamiji launched this new project called Ishanya, which is about collecting things that are from people who don't need them, who are throwing them away, and taking them to people of need. For that project alone, in the last couple of months, we've collected over 5,000 pieces of clothing in this temple, and we are sending it to people who are in need. Earlier, I had said that Swamiji had established many world records, especially in yoga, and couple of yoga and Hindu practices, right? So some of the things that are noteworthy to call out is the longest duration to hold Padmasana yoga, which is 3 hours and 10 minutes. And this is actually people who have done that, who sat in the lotus position. They know it's a rare feat to do something like that. In addition, Swamiji's also established records, his people around him, in terms of practicing Hindus in terms of chanting, where it says chanting Rudram for 30 hours straight. Number of traditional asanas, that is asana means yogic poses, performed by one group, 508 in 108 minutes. So essentially, all these are Swamiji's way of reviving the ancient art of science of enlightenment, which has been lost for ages. So with that, let's watch a brief video where Swamiji talks in his own words about the nation of Kailasa.
Kailasa nation is the most ancient enlightened civilization, Hindu civilizational nation. There were 49 ancient civilizations, the pre-Bronze Age. The only civilization still alive is Hinduism. This nation, Kailasa, I created as a seed bank for Hinduism to keep everything related to Hinduism alive and revive and share with the world. With the grace of Paramashiva, with the blessings of Paramashiva, Kailasa successfully happened. So the revival of ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation has happened with its own territory. As on now, we have territory more than one places. And we are also getting from few more countries, few more smaller islands and small territories. I am stitching all of it and forming United States of Kailasa. Soon I'll announce the location where all we have our territories. At least in one place, the Hinduism need to be kept alive as it is, without being constantly attacked, persecuted, destroyed. I wanted all the living and practicing Hindus of the world to know Hinduism is the most peaceful, non-violent, contributing civilization. All over the world, we are minority. I want all the Hindus to know all over the world, other than India and Nepal, we are factually and actually minority. In Nepal and India, we are factually may not be minority, but actually we are minority. Hindus in Nepal and in India, number-wise may not be minority, means factually may not be minority, but actually minority. So fundamentally, Hindus are minority all over the world. At least in one place, we need to keep Hinduism alive. The Hindu Enlightenment sciences like yoga, meditation, kriyas, temple rituals, Hindu architecture knowledge, all the Hindu way of healthy eating, Hindu medicine, in every field, the large knowledge our ancestors contributed to humanity need to be kept alive, preserved, made user-friendly and shared with the world. This is the sole purpose why Kailasa is born. To keep the grand narrative of Hinduism alive, I made this Kailasa. Kailasa has successfully happened. I sincerely wanted to thank all the Hindus all over the world for supporting me and making this Kailasa happen.
Thank you. That's a great video. Now, Kailasa, we are going to present Kailasa Om Awards, which is recognition of contribution of everyone, people to the community. I invite Ma Nithya Muktikananda, who is the Mahant of Kailasa LA, to talk about Kailasa Om Awards and to present it. So we may not, I think we are going to invite the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to come and give a speech and address the audience here. So we will start with the awards, and then if when the Supreme Pontiff is coming up, we will maybe pause it and then continue it afterwards. Please, Mama and Mom.
A very, very warm welcome and Nithyanandam to everybody. It gives me great pleasure and it's my honor to announce the Kailasa Om Awards today for the exemplary contributions made by many of you who are here to the communities, to religion, and various aspects of human evolution. So without further ado, the Kailasa Om Awards are conferred to distinguished individuals from various walks of life, professions, backgrounds, and faiths, who through their sincere hard work align to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam's and Sri Kailasa's vision and mission of global peace, harmony, and coexistence amongst all peoples and beings. Real peace is something that is in us all the time, irrespective of what is going on the outside. Our peace is in no way related to or dependent on the people and the situations around us. Real peace is nothing but the bliss that we feel inside ourselves. When peace is born out of bliss, it keeps us as well as others in a very peaceful state. This is an excerpt from the teachings by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. On that note, we get started with the Kailasa Om Awards. The very first award will be the Kailasa Mitra Award, which is conferred upon the distinguished individual who has established a long-lasting friendship with Kailasa. May I call upon Sri Abhinav Mehta, Vastu expert, entrepreneur, and much more, for his immense contribution to humanity, for the work he does in the communities. He is a professional with over 30 years of management experience in the fields of engineering, agriculture, and precious stones and jewelry. He is well known in the community as a Vastu expert and is known to all the temples and the people around here. So welcoming Sri Abhinav Mehta to receive his award. Thank you, Abhinavji. You've been a wonderful part of the Los Angeles Sangha and the mission here. We appreciate and we are honored to award you with the Kailasa Awards. The next is the Kailasa Oneness Award, which is conferred upon distinguished individuals who through their work promote the peaceful coexistence between all beings, including animals. And the very first on the list is Sri Ashok Patnaik. He is not here yet, so we will wait for him to come before we confer the award to him. The next on the list is Sri Keval Khanda. We welcome and we are so honored, Kevalji, for your immense contributions to every social, cultural gathering that you have been a part of to Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and for holding the space for so many people in the community. You have several achievements and you've had so many positions, including in Gopio and prominent leadership roles for several organizations and events. We are immensely grateful to everything that you do. Thank you, Kevalji. Next on the list for the Kailasa Oneness Award is Sri Ragbir Bhaga. He is the Vice President of Gopio in the Inland Empire. He has had so many years of contributions to the community, and we are so honored to have him accept the award from us. Thank you, Ragbirji, for everything that you do. The next award is the Kailasa Devi Annapurneshwari Humanitarian Award. This award is being given to Sherry Bonanno. She is from the Hollywood Food Coalition, and I believe she is not here yet, so we will wait for her to come. But I just wanted to share that she has had so much, about 20, 30 years of experience, sharing, offering, and serving food to the communities in Los Angeles and beyond. Hollywood Food Coalition has been doing a wonderful, wonderful job of ensuring that hunger and poverty are being addressed. So we will wait, and we will be giving her the honor soon. The next award is the Kailasa Devi Saraswati Award for Arts and Culture. This award is going to be given shortly to Ma Rose Murali Krishnan. She is also not here right now, but she's on her way. So when she comes, we will be giving her the award for her immense contribution to classical music, dance, and traditions and art and culture. The next is the Kailasa Devi Meenakshi Administration Award, conferred upon women who through their work contribute to higher quality of living for all in various ways. I call upon, excuse me, I call upon Ma Vasu Pawar, the CEO of Step to Step Up, and much, much more. Just like, Sri Keval Khanda and Sri Ragbir Bhaga, she has been instrumental in bringing culture, bringing the traditions, bringing Indianism to the Southern California area, and she's a wonderful leader. Thank you, Ma Basu. The next is the Kailasa Dharmajyoti Religion and Worship Award. This is conferred upon distinguished individuals who demonstrate true compassion and commitment to humanity by using their life in service to others through religion and worship. I now call upon Reverend Scott Olson. He's also on his way. He's not here yet. We'll read out and hand over the gift to him once he comes. The next person who's receiving the Dharmajyoti Religion and Worship Award is Ma Deborah Boudreau. She is the CEO of the Buddhist Foundation, Su Chi. She is part of this organization for more than 33 years and has experience working on significant charity, medical care, education, and humanitarian aid projects. Deborah leads Buddhist and Catholic interfaith dialogues and serves as a UN Multi-Faith Advisory Council member. She has had so many years of contribution to religion, to faith, and to humanity through religion. Thank you, Ma Deborah, for everything that you do. The next award, the Kailasa Dharmajyoti Religion and Worship Award, is being given, and it is our honor to welcome Ma Dhamma Surya. Bhikkhuni Dhammasurya was born in Taiwan, and she's lived in the United States for several years, and she's inspired by the Venerable Yin Shun of the Mahayana tradition of Buddhism. And after she has become a Buddhist, she has started spending a lot of time studying Buddhism and learning to meditate through the Theravada tradition from Myanmar. So thank you so much for all you do and your contributions. Ma, you should come. And now we have our delegate here who is going to be given the Religion Award, who is Bante Jnanavara. Shri Bante Jnanavara. He is part of the Buddhist monastery, the Azusa Myanmar Monastery of Progressive Buddhist Association, and has contributed immensely to Buddhism and to the community, sharing about peace and meditation. Thank you, Dr. Jnanavara. The next award is the Kailasa Dharma Jyoti Religion and Worship Award, being given to Bante Maitri. Bante Maitri Murthy is the abbot of Sri Sakyamuni Vihara Buddhist Temple, and he is the founder in Lake Elsinore, teaching meditations, embracing of all faiths and races, religion, and nationalities. Thank you so much, Bante, for your contributions to humanity. The next award is the Kailasa Patanjali Ratna Awards. This is conferred upon those who are promoting authentic yoga. And this will be given to Patty Wilderson. She's yoga instructor and an author, and she lives here in Southern California with her husband and 2 adult children. Patty has taught Kundalini Yoga since 2004 to all levels and abilities. Thank you so much, Patty. And you are trained especially to deal with kids who have special needs. So your contribution is immense. Thank you so much. Ma Sherry, is she here? That's okay. We'll give. So these are the awards now, and we'll be continuing later. And we wanted to thank and truly express our gratitude to all the Kailasa Om awardees. Your contributions have made a difference, and we hope to partner, we hope to be in touch with you and ensure that this continues, the good work continues forever. Thank you so much. And now we will request the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, to honor us and grace us with his presence and with his darshan, and to address the gathering here. Nithyanandam.
Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine with your eyes open is darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation to darshan. Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes.
नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवसमारम्भाम् नित्यानन्देश्वरि परमशिवशक्तिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, and important guests, panelists, home award recipients, delegates. I welcome all of you with my love and respects, and the Sarvanyapita Kartas, Ejamans, Manifestors, Sarvavarityagis, Shri Mahants, Mahants, Kotari Tanedar, visitors, viewers, Kayakalpa Yoga participants, Kailasa's ministers, ambassadors, sitting with us through the Kailasa TV, Nithyananda TV, social media platforms. I welcome all of you with my love and respects and blessings. The important persons, delegates here, Norma J. Torres, Congresswoman, thank you for being here. Coriza Martinez, Council Member, City of Montclair. Reverend Scott Olson, Senior Minister, Ahaya Center for Spiritual Living, Pasadena. Shri Abhinav Mehta ji, Shri Ashok Patnaik ji, Ma Patty Wildasin, yoga instructor, Shri Ashok Desai ji, Ma Vasu Pawar, Ma Deborah Baudriax, Shri Suchi, Shri Amit Bhandari ji, Shri Keshav M. Patel ji, Shri Srimati Sarumati Shivakumar, Ma Dhammasurya, Bante Nayanvara, Bante Askar Avtada, Bante Sanaka, Venerable Maitri Murti, Abbat of Sri Shakyamuni Vihara Buddhist Temple ji, Shri Raghbir Bagaji, Shri Keval K. Kanda ji, I welcome all of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing what you are doing for the community. And thank you for being who you are for the community and to the humanity. Today's subject: how to inspire the youth to be the future empowered leaders. See, I will present few points, trigger the dialogue, trigger the Vakyartha Sadas. Actually, this is the typical Hindu way of education. In Hindu tradition, first Shravana, the truths are uttered, powerful cognitions are revealed, then Vakyartha Sadas is conducted. In the modern day, what we call as panel discussion. The Vakyartha Sadas is conducted for people to do manana, internalizing, then live that truths, nididhyasana. Fundamentally, the dharma-based religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, the various sampradayas, traditions of Hinduism, all these dharma-based religions focus on enlightenment, Jivan Mukti. And how the science of Jivan Mukti, living enlightenment, can empower our youth, inspire our youth to be the future empowered leaders is the subject. Even few days before, we had one session with the same thought current, but from the different perspective. Now the perspective is little larger. humanity is struggling to transmit best input, knowledge, powerful cognitions from the ancient traditions to the next generation due to the powerful and brutal oppression by modernism. Please understand, modernism is the most oppressing. People think modernism is most liberating. No. In reality, modernism is the most oppressing than any other regime. Modernism oppresses, snatches away all the great possibilities from the human beings without analyzing. Modernism just neglects the great possibilities and powers of the ancient wisdom. Never ever our masters, the ancient masters, enlightened beings, struggled so much to pass the science of enlightenment to the next generation as we are struggling in this era. Science is used with the racist and anti-dharmic tradition attitude, not just Hindu phobia, it's actually Hindumesia. Science and rationality is used very well by the racist forces to completely clear the contributions of the ancient enlightened civilizations. If I look at how the Hindu narrative itself is getting attacked, I can present just few powerful truths which you can all discuss about, have conversation. First thing, Hinduism reveals the multiple possibilities and multiple powers consciousness holds. Hinduism elaborately gives the science of manifesting those powers. The philosophies, ideologies which denies the higher possibilities and higher powers of humanity has pushed human beings into depression. I want all of you to know, I am not talking about the great powers and possibilities of Hinduism just to get people out of depression. I am talking about the great powers and possibilities of consciousness presented in Hinduism because it is truth. Not enlightenment alone, multiple possibilities which manifest along with enlightenment, practice of enlightening spiritual practices, whether it is vipassana from Buddhism or upasana in Hinduism or nirvikalpa samadhi from yogic tradition, all these great spiritual practices not only gives you the enlightenment experience, it opens up multiple powers and possibilities. Next generation need to taste those powers and possibilities. Understand? The modern youth, whom I call people between the age of 18 to 40, I should say, most unfortunate people, because by the time they are 40, they are almost done with the life. All possible pleasures they have been taught. All possible joys they have been told. What youth calls freaking out, or they are done with everything, whether drugs or pleasures of senses. They are done with everything, and they do not know what to do further. One of the greatest thing in Hinduism, you can never be done with life. Even if you are a tyagi, renunciant, sannyasi, there is so much to explore in the inner world. The possibilities and powers of the inner world, when you touch it, you never feel you are done with it, you are done with life. Never the excitement for life disappears. I should say, excitement for being alive, life, becomes your very quality only when you open your inner possibilities and powers. When a person does not touch the inner possibilities and powers, not only he will feel tired and bored about life, depression is inevitable. Almost all the governments in the world have come to a kind of a space. They have no answer for the problems youth are facing now. They just say, what can be done? Let's drag. And unfortunately, modernism is not allowing the mass to start looking into the solutions from the ancient traditions. I am here to trigger one conversation. My only job, my only purpose is to trigger one conversation. The possibilities and powers of Vedas and Agamas described in ancient enlightened civilizations is true. When I propose it is true, naturally someone will say, yes, it is true. Someone will say, no, maybe half true. Someone will say, no, whole thing is lie. That conversation will start. That is what is the panel discussion. But let us start exploring. At least one part of the people will come to the conclusion it is true. Once you come to the conclusion it is true, then we can enter into the subject. How? How we can taste it. How we can experience it. How we can imbibe it. How we can make that as a part of our life. With this question, Hinduism begins. The first verse of the Brahma Sutra, Atato Brahma Jignasat, let us inquire into the reality of the existence. The whole cosmos in Sanskrit we call it Jagat, and individual soul, self, Jiva, Ishvara, which is the source for the Jagat and Jiva. In Sanskrit, we use the word Ishvara. In English, roughly you can translate as God. Even the intellectual understanding about the Jiva, Ishvara and Jagat from any tradition of dharmic religion, please understand, Shaivism describes Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat in one way. Vaishnavism describes Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara in another way. Buddhism describes Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat in another way. In Buddhism itself, different traditions describes it in different way. But I tell you, from my own personal experience, whether you start practicing Shaivism, Vaishnavism, Shakta, or Gaumara, Ganapatya, or Buddha, Jaina, any of this tradition, all these traditions are true. all these traditions take you to the zone, take you to the space they promise. If you start getting introduced about Jiva Ishwara Jagat, means the universe, self and God, from Buddhism, and start practicing Buddhism, what Buddhism promises, you achieve it. Same way, if you get introduced about Jiva Ishwara Jagat, the universe, self and God, from Shaivism, what Shaivism promises, you get that. Each of this tradition is absolutely true. One of the most beautiful thing with a dharmic religion, dharma-centric religion, we always seek the higher and higher truths. It is discussion seeking centric religions, spiritual traditions. Neither we convert nor we terrorize. All dharma-based traditions, whether Buddhism or Hinduism or Jainism, Sikhism, all of us, we don't believe in conversion because we never used religion as a political tool. We never believed in the number game. We believed in the quality. It was, our religion was more a research and development R&D department for us, not the marketing product. We never looked at our religion from the angle of marketing and making the religion as a product easy to market. No. We looked at the religion more from the angle of research and development. We never developed the religion for marketing. That's why we neither believe in conversion nor focus in conversion. First. Second, absolutely we don't believe in converting people through violence or terrorism. That is why Hindus are the most peaceful community all over the world. Forget about we don't promote terrorism. We don't even have gangsters. The only ethnic group in US which does not have gangsters is Hindus. All of you will be aware. I always repeat this. Lowest crime rate is the Hindu households. Go to any US prison, you will not find a single Hindu name. Almost zero. Almost 0% Hindus in US prison. I can give you so many inputs. All dharma-based religions, all enlightenment, moksha-centric traditions are true, and the possibilities and powers these moksha-centric traditions promote are true. We just need to make our youth interested in these powers and possibilities the dharma-centric traditions talk about. It's all about youth seeing are tasting the possibilities and powers demonstrated in Vedic tradition in our sacred books in reality. We have established around 463 extraordinary spiritual powers from the Veda Agama tradition. Demonstrably, we have documented it and demonstrated it, whether teleporting, materializing, or mind over the matter, or the consciousness over the matter. Multiple things we have demonstrated, documented under the controlled conditions. Actually, one of the Asia Book of Records we did is 108 third eye awakened people demonstrating the powers of third eye at a time, same time. 108 people demonstrating the powers of the third eye. That was one of our Asia Book of Records. All we need to do is youth need to see the possibilities and powers of dharmic traditions. How an individual can start living enlightenment and how it can trigger the great possibilities and powers and how that can manifest the eternal excitement, Nitya Utsaha, eternal excitement for life. See, in Hindu tradition, we have basic scripture Veda. Then each sampradaya has their own agama. Shaivas have Shaivagama, Saktas have Shaktagama, and Vaishnavas have Vaishnavagama, Jains have Jain Agama, Buddhists have their own scriptures. Each tradition have their own agama and each one comment. Each one respond. Each one tradition answers the basic questions of life. From my experience, I wanted to share with you all these dharmic traditions are real. You can explore Jiveshwara Jagat, means self, world and God, from Shaivite tradition or Vaishnavite tradition, Shakta tradition, Buddhist tradition, Jain tradition, any of these traditions, whatever those traditions promise, you reach that. Essence, what I want to convey today, all these dharmic traditions are real. The powers and possibilities described in these dharmic traditions are real. We just need to trigger the interest of the youth on these traditions by demonstrating these possibilities and these powers. If the youth is inspired to explore the conscious powers, conscious possibilities, not only they become leaders, the life negativity leaves them once and for all. all the problems modern day youth is facing not only solved, those problems become irrelevant. It is just simple work of introducing the super possibilities and superpowers of the dharmic traditions to youth. Constantly we face a challenge when we take our dharmic traditions to the youth. The biggest challenge we face is making them taste it. I tell you, if we can make them taste it, not only they become empowered leaders, they will become the people who will carry the science to the next generation. Again, the same question comes, how to make them taste it? When that question comes, the only answer is introduce them to this power manifestation science. It's verily available. We have revived the Vedas and Agamas, made the sciences user friendly, made it available to everyone. I request everyone to experience it, enjoy it, enriched by it, and share it with the whole world. I just checked with my KAILASA Los Angeles head how much more time I have. They said I have time. I can speak a little more. I'll share just few more truths. Concept of birth and death, concept of body, principle of mind, cognitions about the consciousness, concept of karma, concept of higher reality, concept of higher world, concept of rebirth. In this way, there are 1,000 major important principles. All dharmic traditions agree. Please understand, all dharmic traditions. Hinduism's different sampradaya like Shaivism, all the Shanmatas, Ganapatya, Gaumara, Shakta, Saiva, Saura, Vaishnava, all the Sampradayas, and Jaina, Buddhism, all these Sampradayas accept multiple life truth. Our consciousness takes multiple lives. It goes through cycle of birth and death. All these traditions accept the concept of karma. All these traditions accept the concept of higher reality. All these traditions accept the existence of higher time zones, the vertical time zones, the higher mandalas, the common truths. All these tradition accepts around 1,000 truths. I have clearly organized and presented in one book my commentary on Bhagavad Gita. It's not just on commentary on Bhagavad Gita. It's actually the commonly accepted spiritual truths from all these traditions compiled. If we can start cognizing those higher truths, start functioning from those powerful cognitions, simply we manifest powers. Please understand, if you cognize you are a body, you will feel tiredness and laziness is justified. If you feel you are a mind, the boredom is justified. But if you decide to cognize your consciousness, tiredness and boredom become illegitimate. Even if it exists, it comes and goes. You know it is illegitimate. It cannot be justified. Tiredness and boredom loses its justification to exist if you cognize you are a consciousness. A man who started practicing his consciousness and seeing that tiredness and boredom is losing its grip on him, starts manifesting his possibilities. And when he starts living without even remembering how he used to get tired, how he used to get bored, he manifests powers. This is the simple introduction I can give about the possibilities and powers. If we can introduce just cognitive shift, can bring possibilities and powers to the modern youth, to our next generation, we can easily transmit the science of living enlightenment to the next generation. That's all I am trying to propose. So, we have thousands of Bhagavad Gita books and living enlightenment books available for free distribution. Not only you can pick up your copy freely, anybody, your friends, family, your community members, anyone you want to gift, you can pick up a copy for them too. Please share it and celebrate it, enrich and enjoy it. With this, I thank everyone for being here. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here, and thank you all for doing what you are doing. And I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhatvaita Saivam Paramattvaitam, the state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness of Kailasa, Maha Kailasa, of Paramashiva. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. The eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
श्रीकैलासोन्नतद्वादशान्तश्यामलापीठारूढ श्रीमीनाक्षिसुन्दरेश्वरा भिन्नस्वरूप परशिवपुत्ररत्न कुमार गुरुमण्यतुल्यावतार श्रीपार्वतीस्तन्यपानलब्धदिव्यज्ञान विश्रुतसकलनिगमागमसारभूतद्राविडवेदप्रवक्त्रे श्रीमत्परमशिवकरुणासमधिगतमुक्तामयचतुरश्रयान् गीयमानछत्रचामर श्रीचिह्नकाहलादिसमस्तबिरदावल्यलङ्कृत ज्ञानविज्ञानचक्रवर्ती सर्वजनसङ्घसद्यो निर्वाणदीक्षाव्ययापवर्गवर्ष विश्राण जीमूत परमतकलभकेसरी शैवसिद्धान्तस्थापनाचार्य श्रीराजाधिराजपाण्ड्यमहाराज गुरु क्षपणशाक्यादिमहान्धकारनिवारणज्ञानभानु वीक्षणानर्हार्हध्वजोच्छेदनपूर्वक श्रीमद्वृषभध्वजस्थापक शैवसमयकर्त्रे सर्वज्ञपीठारूढ श्रीजगद्गुरु श्रीज्ञानसम्बन्धदेशिकस्वामि वागीशसुन्दरमाणिक्यवाचकस्वामिनाम् अवतारभूत श्रीज्ञानसम्बन्धस्वामि पुनरुद्धृत श्यामलापीठ सर्वज्ञपीठ त्रिनवत्युत्तरद्विशततम गुरुमहासन्निधान अरुणगिरियोगीश्वर परम्परागत अरुणाचल सर्वज्ञपीठ गुरुमहासन्निधान कैलास परम्परागत काञ्ची कैलास सर्वज्ञपीठ त्रयस्त्रिंशदुत्तरद्विशततम गुरुमहासन्निधान नित्योत्सव नित्यमङ्गल नित्यकल्याण नित्यरजित कैलास परम्परागत आदिकैलास नित्यानन्दपीठ महासंस्थान महासिंहासनपीठकर्तः साक्षात् श्रीपरमशिव समुद्भूत कैलास परम्परागत वैवस्वतमनु इक्ष्वाकु हरिश्चन्द्र भगीरथ श्रीरामचन्द्र शूरसेन इत्यादि अनवच्छिन्न सार्वभौम चक्रवर्ति परम्परागत चतुष्षष्टि योगिनी मण्डित चतुष्षष्टि सम्प्रदाय प्रवर्तक मनुधर्मशासन सूर्यवंश प्राप्त सर्वज्ञपीठ सुराङ्गी साम्राज्य मूर्धाभिषिक्त चूडामणे साक्षात् श्री परमशिव समुद्भूत कपिल महागुरु पुनरुद्धृत महानिर्वाणि पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री महामण्डलेश्वर साक्षात् श्री परमशिव सिंहासनाभिषिक्त समस्त गणनायक श्री महागणपति समारंभ अनवच्छिन्न पीठाधीश्वर गुरुपरम्परा प्राप्त अटल पीठ अष्टोत्तरसहस्र श्री अटल पीठाधीश्वर धर्ममुक्तिस्वर्गपुरस्वर्ण पीठ त्रयोविंश गुरु महासन्निधान कैलास परम्परागत आदिपीठ सर्वज्ञपीठ जगद्गुरो श्री कैलास पुनरुद्धारक श्री कैलास परमाचार्य श्रीमत्परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्य सच्चिदानंद प्रणव स्वरूप श्रोत्रिय ब्रह्मनिष्ठ श्रीमज्जगद्गुरु श्रील श्री भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य स्वामिन् अत्रागत्य परिपाल्य च अस्मान् विज्ञान वितरणेन विजयी भव जय जय।
He has received the Mitra Award, the Kailasa Mitra Award. If I can request Sri Abhinav Mehta. Okay, it looks like our guests are taking a little 2-minute break. If I can request everybody to please come back. you please go get send someone, please? So Shri Abhinavji is back. So Abhinavji, if I can request you to please step up to the podium. He is going to be the recipient of the Kandi Mala. The Kandi is a very sacred and a very traditional gift that is offered. And as a Kailasa's Mitra, he gets this awarded to him. Abhinavji, if I can request you to please wait here. Yes. The next awardee is Shri Keval Kandaji. You can, Abhinavji. So Kevalji is going to be receiving a very special emblem as a mark of respect and honor as part of the Kailasa Oneness Award. Thank you, Kevalji. If you can please step here. The next recipient of Kailasa's emblem, the award for Kailasa Oneness, is Shri Ragbir Baga. If I may request Shri Ragbir ji to please come up. To receive the award. Thank you, Ragbir ji. If you could please wait here. Thank you. The next award is, do we have Ma Sherry Bonanno here? Is Ma Sherry Bonanno here? Yes. Can you have her award also, please? So Ma Sherry has been with the Hollywood Food Coalition for a very, very long time. And as I was sharing in the past, thank you so much for what you do for the community and ending hunger and poverty. It means a lot, and we share the same sentiments. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is so happy that we are coordinating with the Hollywood Food Coalition to share food, energized food to all. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Yes. Yes. If you could please wait. Thank you. The next award, so she has been honored with the Kailasa Devi Annapurneshwari Humanitarian Award. Annapurneshwari is the word for someone who is offering food as the Annadatta. The next award is the Kailasa Devi Saraswati Award. Ma Rose is still not here, so we will hold off on that award. The next is the Devi Meenakshi Administration Award that will be given to Ma Vasu Pawar. If I can request you to please come and accept the Kailasa's special emblem as a mark of honor for every effort and what you have done for the community. Thank you, Ma Vasu. Wonderful. And the next award is the Kailasa Dharma Jyoti Religion and Worship Award. And we have Ma Deborah Bodreau, who has been given the certificate, and she will be now honored with the special Kailasa's emblem. Once again, we're so thankful that you are here, and it's an honor to share the award with you. Thank you for all your contribution. Yes. The next awardee is for the Kailasa Dharma Jyoti Religion and Worship Award. And this is to Ma Bhikkhuni Dhammasurya. Once again, thank you, Ma, for everything that you do and how you hold the space for the community. She has been conferred the Kailasa emblem. Thank you. Yes. Please. The next award is to Sri Bante Jnanavara. Okay, he will be back. And the next Kailasa Dharma Jyoti Religion and Worship Award is to Bante Maitri Murthy. We request you to come and accept the award and honor us. Thank you so much for all your contribution and what you do for the communities. Thank you. Please. The next is the Kailasa Patanjali Ratna Award. And that was conferred to Ma Patty Wildermison. If I can request you to please come and accept the Kailasa emblem as we honor you with the award. Thank you, Ma Patty, for everything that you do. Wonderful. Yes. And with that, we come to the end of the Kailasa Om Awards. We thank each and every person here who has been awarded for their immense contribution to humanity. Without the contribution of each and every one of you here, and those of you who are our guests in the audience, what we do today is not going to be possible. It is a chance, it is the time for us to come together, to manifest as one community. Thank you so much. Today's event, with the grace and the blessing of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, today we have the opportunity to come together as a community. We are coming together, different individuals representing different faiths, different traditions, cultures, but today we stand as one to work together to understand the need for our youth, for the next generations. Whether it is yoga, meditation, food, the kind of lifestyle. How is it that we can come together and make a difference? What are the action steps that we are going to make happen so our youth benefit and the next generations understand what it means to be truly empowered from within? And as all of you have heard such a powerful message from Swamiji just now, he has shared in the past, also in the previous talks that he has given. So, youth leaders of today care tremendously for issues such as veganism, climate change, equality, and freedom. They care about the environment. So the question really is, if we need to ask, is religion connecting with the youth on these issues? Does the youth look to religion, look to the traditions to connect with what they are looking for? So if I might, let me start with asking this question to We have a special guest who has joined us today, Ma Lakshmi Pillalamari. So thank you, Ma, for coming here and joining us today. And she is, starting a temple. She has put her life's worth of, efforts, and for the last 30, 40 years, she's been very actively part of Hinduism and, the communities, and has been to every temple around here. So Ma Lakshmi, if I can ask you this question, do you feel that religion is able to connect with youth on the issues such as climate change, equality, freedom, manifesting powers?
There is a lot of opportunity to do that, but I don't think a lot of temples are doing that. So we are just focusing on the religion part. But if we meet where they are, and if we bring them to do some service projects, because they might be more interested in doing the service to the community rather than just sitting and doing the puja or the worship. So we have to find the ways to involve them in the service. So by doing the service, it helps for them to develop, and also it helps to the community, and we are involving them in the projects. I don't think we are doing much on that.
So how do we connect the aspect of religion or religious practices and service as the common part, the part that together enhances their lives? Because it is not one over the other, correct? It is an amalgamation of whether it's the rituals, the understanding of the rituals, or understanding of the powers that come by the practices, and how do you apply it in the seva or the community aspects they do?
Also, I feel that Hinduism is a way of life, we say, because it's not just the worship, it's the art, the music, the dance, the painting, the etc. Everything is around the religion. So if you learn Carnatic music or you are doing the dance, that's a worship itself. And they might not be doing the temple worship, but if they are doing this, over a period of time, they will get attracted to the other parts of the religion. So we should not just think of only one directed way. We have a lot of ways in Hinduism, a lot of different paths. So anything that they are interested, if we can bring them in, so slowly they will develop the other parts. So that's how I feel, and we have to meet where they are. So every temple where we are, we have to have opportunities for them to come and learn the art, the religion, the painting, the sculpture, anything. It's all around the religion, Hinduism. So we have to teach those things in the place where we are, even the serving food for the poor, so they can come cook and take the food to the shelters. So those are the things we have to do more if we want to involve the youth.
Thank you, Ma. Yes. So, if I might ask, why would this actually help the youth connect with the great powers and possibilities that are presented, let's say in Hinduism? What is the aspect of living enlightenment that will come through whether the social or the cultural and the other activities? Why? If I might ask, Ma Charu, would you like to share?
Thank you. You cornered me. Sorry. I think I shared something similar last week. It's very important. It's an important point. Like we all realize that our youth are moving away, and Swamiji gave good message. I think I'm not sure if it was covered this week's speech, but he talked about it last week about Palastuti and how to take imbibe the qualities for youth. The way we can do it is like it doesn't make sense if you just teach rituals and their meaning. There has to be a connect. Most of our temples, at least Hindu temples, act as a place of worship. They have to act like more like a community center. Even my daughter, like she's 15 years old, when she goes to a temple, she doesn't, like she's a singer, she does the Bharatanatyam and all that. Those are ways of devotion, but children like her and of her age, what they are looking forward is they want to feed the homeless. They want to clean the surroundings. They want to go clean the beach. And I think our temples have to take up activities that are more like a community service projects and then relate that to the religion, how it is there in Hinduism. It's there, Pancha Shakti, and how important it is. We all know it, but our temples don't take it to the level of service so our youth can really benefit out of it. So it's not the fault of the religion. The religion has everything. It's like an ocean. What you pick from the ocean, just the plastic, or you pick pearls, it's in our hands. So I feel we had to make religion more like a community service. We had to teach the youth the community matters. Religion is to guide us, and the purpose of humanity is to serve others. And once we establish that connection, I think youth will be in our religion.
So basically, the experiential understanding of the religion or the way of life.
Yes, I did not explain that much because I think Swamiji gave like a 30 minutes presentation last week. So I thought like most of us listened to that. So thank you.
Thank you, Macharu. So in this context of, yes, Ma, sorry.
You asked a question that how by doing the service or the projects, they will be getting directed to the religious part of the thing. How it will help them to get connected. By doing these projects, or working around, or being in the surroundings of a temple, the energy, they are being exposed to the high level of energy, and that will bring change in inner change in them. And they will be surrounded by the people with the positive vibrations, so that will change them automatic. So without we doing anything, the inner change will come.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ma. Yes, absolutely. So if I might ask Ma Deborah? Yes. So I wanted to ask you, how do you find the role of parents, right? When we are talking about youth connecting with their roots, youth connecting with consciously the way of life, right? Looking back into, what are the great powers, like what Swamiji had talked, right? He said great powers and possibilities are presented in religion, in Hinduism. And it is the truth, not enlightenment alone, but multiple possibilities that manifest with the enlightenment. So what do you feel is, the role of the parents that will enable the youth to have the right experiences? And what have you seen as part of the Buddhist religion?
The most important is engagement. The parents need to open the dialogue with their children. However, due to current social media, the new technology, we're talking about modernism. Compared to the faith, we practice a lot of traditional. During the traditional, the core value need to be continue remind and also continue to reflect. I do agree we need to share with our young generation, especially our children, to bring them into the conversation table. However, the inner party relationship always have very strong conflict conflict for different opinions. So the best way is open forum, bring all the children, all the same age group together to share their thoughts, to empower them, to open their horizon with very clear experience sharing, to reduce their searching of their horizon. This is a huge intergeneration gap issues we are seeing right now. So it's no answer for everybody. However, according to PEW research, the faith organizations into 2030, all the Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, the so-called young generation followers, the number will be down. So that's already a very huge indication for us to think about how to bring the young generation to come back to our religious core value and carry this mission continuously forward. And it's not losing our own historical strength. So that's a very tough assignment. But I do believe we all sense the situation and how to bring that on the table. The young generation seeking for freedom, a safety space, so-called their terminology.
Right.
The senior, our generation, we try to see how to sustain, transform, to bring the information back to them. So it's an intergeneration dialogue have to be continued.
You're absolutely right, Ma Deborah. Wonderful. Thank you for your sharing. That was amazing. So I will actually ask even Ma Vasu right now, because you are involved with various activities and events that you plan as a lot of cultural, teaching the culture to children, right?
Yeah.
How have you seen that when the core values of religion or the way of life, right, needs to be instilled, right? It needs to be where they come back to their roots. How does that impact the way the youth think about lifestyle, or how do they want to be inspired? How do they want to be empowered? What their ideas of social interactions and what they feel is the right thing to do. How do you feel there is a gap or something that we need to address?
First of all, I liked what everybody's comments over here, and we all have experiences in different areas. The one most distinctive thing that I have seen about the youth of today is there is a sense of a gap that they have. And I think what they're all craving for is really a sense of belonging. And they don't fit into all these other cultures, and they think that maybe somebody is better than them, not even knowing about their own religion, how powerful it is or how important it is. And it's the most ancient culture in the world. And I like to separate the one most important distinctive factor is that Hinduism is not a religion. It's a way of life. And this way of life has been transmitted to us through many stories, many true stories, not just made up stories I'm talking about. And I think that if lately I've seen a lot of Indian movies are getting into the cultural side of it, which really makes it very impactful. At least we can show these movies to our children to see what the real stories were.
Correct.
And so I'm really grateful to the movie industry for bringing those out. And the same thing can be done. I think we had the Ramayana. I think, right, she just did the Ramayana. I'm sorry that I missed it, but I was grateful that she did that, because what happens is, if we take our children to attend these, they know these little stories that they never knew before. And if the parents take the extra step into that and try to connect these stories with them as to what's going on with that, And when you talk about the sense of belonging, which is the biggest problem that our children have, when you talk about the sense of belonging, it's not only just the religious side of it that they feel they lack, which they technically don't, but they think they do, you know. And it's also like the dressing styles. They want to say, oh, I want to copy what she's doing or he's doing. And they think that, okay, they need to change this and change that. And they might be the most beautiful people here, you know. And they don't realize that they are. They think that someone else is better than them. So there's this little, lack of self-confidence that they have, which really segregates them sort of in schools and everywhere. And they think that that gap that's left behind. And one most important thing that I've seen for my own self is the way we grew up, you know, like, you know, in our generation, we never asked our parents a single question, you know. They told us, okay, take your shoes off at the door. We never questioned them. We just did it without anything in our minds that, oh, why should I? You know, we didn't. Two things is, one is we didn't have the guts to do that. That's number one. There was so much respect for the adults, right?
Right.
So we never questioned anything. And I think in one way, I think that was a drawback with us. Because now what happened is we didn't question why they did this. Now my kids, every little thing that I tell them, they question it. And I said, how stupid was I? I didn't question my parents to find out what the real story is. Why do I do this? Why do I do every little thing that we do, whether it's how we eat the food, or how we sit down at events, or how we respect each other, and especially the adults, is so valuable, you know, even in today's life. And we never questioned that. Why do we do that, right? So now when my kids ask me, I have a problem, because I don't know the answers to a whole bunch of these questions. So I think it's so important that even the parents need to be educated. We don't know ourselves. Why, right? So let us also, maybe it's a little too late for us, but then let's go back and say that it's never too late to learn anything. So I think all of us need to be educated, not only the children, but us, so we can tell them why. Because I tell my children why, you know. So I think I've created best two kids, and it's the biggest blessing for me. And they don't question anymore, you know. They understood that there's something behind it. They will argue, yeah. They have their own perspective to tell us, why not this or why not that, you know? Because they try to compare to other cultures and all that, and they want to say, if this is okay with them, why it's not okay with us? But if you tell them the science behind it, now a simple thing that you go back to the Om, right? It's such a religious thing for us, such a powerful thing for us, and we don't go anywhere without saying the Om, right?
Right.
Or chanting Om. When they realized in the scientific field, you know, when you talked about technology, when our kids realize that, oh my God, that's considered as the highest power that we have always had. And now they've started to connect with that because these researches have been done. And so the more researches that are done, if we can share those with our children, some of these WhatsApp messages that we share with all of us, right? We keep it to ourselves. We don't share it with them.
Right.
And I think it's important that we share it with our children as well. That way we connect our culture in the most proficient way, so they are very comfortable with that. Their problem, like I see it, is this gap that they have, okay? And we also have that gap. And the sense of belonging is the most important thing for them. In all respects, the dressing or the way they go to school, and they want to just copy things that others do. They think that that's the thing of today, you know? And that's not true, really, you know? So education, you know, for all of us, whether it's the children or us, you know, but let's try to see how we can share these little things with them so they understand the culture very well. And also the most important thing that all of us need to understand, that Hinduism is not a religion. It is the facts of life. It's a science of life. And that's something which none of us talk about. Every time there's some kind of a faith seminar, we present Hinduism as a religion. And that's the biggest mistake we are making there. Why are we calling it a religion when it's not? Okay, it's something which we all need to educate ourselves how we present our culture. Thank you.
Thank you, Mavasu. If I'd like to ask Patty, you've been teaching yoga for a very long time, and you've interacted a lot with children in the due course. And coming from a Western background, understanding how yoga that has come from Hindu roots, right, from India, how do you feel from a Western world perspective, you have enabled or you see how the youth are connecting yoga to their inner success and to their empowerment? How are they able to carry it forward? And have you seen their struggles?
I do. That's a great question. So what I find, the kids are hungry. They're willing to taste, right? They want to chant, they want to dance, they want to create, they want to have fun, they want to move their bodies. Closer. Okay. I have more resistance from the parents than I do the kids, so, which is quite interesting.
Yes.
And I would say, coming from a Western background, when I got to yoga, I learned more from my students than they learned from me. I teach a lot that are disabled and many that are nonverbal, and they're still very powerful teachers because they are their authentic selves at all times, and they are in the present moment. They're not worried about the stuff that we are. They're not worried about the car, the this, how am I dressed, none of it. A little closer still? Okay, sorry about that. So many of these kids are in the present moment. They are their authentic selves, and that's what yoga provides. One of the students early on, maybe 15 years ago when I was teaching, talked about coming from a Western background, and she said she's always struggled with the idea of we're in and you're out. And that stuck with me because as a child, I always felt that I was out. We didn't have a particular culture, but on this side of the family, they're Catholic. Well, you have to sit here. You're not allowed to take communion. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. Then we go, maybe the friends that invite you to youth group, and it's, oh, well, no, you're not really a member. You can't do that. And so I always felt like I'm just, well, where do I belong? And my first yoga class I attended, I felt like the teacher was talking to me. The mantras, the music, the vibration just resonated within my soul. And so I felt like, oh, I'm home. And it was a place everybody's welcome. And so that is what I foster. I have all races, religions, ethnicities. I get kids from everywhere. I mean, being in Southern California, we have that opportunity. I know that's not the case all over the world, but
Right.
here it is. And so everyone's welcome. And I am able to provide a space that encourages them to connect with their inner selves. So it's not about what's happening on the outside, it is tapping into the inside, and it's very experiential based. So we are moving our bodies in yoga, we're meditating, and a lot of times the meditation with kids is done with song and movement. So
Right.
yeah, we're just in the moment, and they do. It's like being given permission to be yourself, to connect with yourself. And I think a lot of times, parents are busy. Like, I can't make it tonight. We have to this or that, or, there's so much rushing around. And I'm not blaming parents in any, I am one, so I'm not making any kind of blame, but just
Right.
providing a space where you are welcome, like your authentic being, and that's what we want. What's on the inside, not what's on the outside.
Beautiful. That is very well said. Thank you so much. Actually, what I get from everybody who's been sharing is being knowledgeable, having the right cognitions, right? Understanding your empowerment lies from within, right? And then you apply it in various activities or various choices that you make in life, and then you experience what is your true success. Then the act of feeling that you belong, right? You are part, but even that comes from within. If your inner core is actually living enlightenment, that means it is in a space of feeling fulfilled and empowered, then the outside will all automatically be where you belong, because the inside is fulfilled. So carrying these messages across to our youth and actually truly helping them experience, whether it is through the community work that we do, whether it is, through the seva or the volunteering that you do in various places, or the experiences that you choose to gain the knowledge from. Each and everything should lead you back to the grounding that comes by living enlightenment, by feeling the empowerment from within, right? So if I might actually ask Bhante Maitri, if you would like to share, about modernism. Swamiji talked just now about how modernism, it oppresses and it brings in, a share of the social interactions. There's so much of, distractions, right? And what it does is it takes away, he actually said, it snatches away all the great possibilities that is from a human being, right? So what do you think we can do to make the shift happen so people are able to, and our youth are able to realize how to go within for their power?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for giving time for me. Yeah, according to my experience, we have been teaching in Sri Lanka the Sunday schools. Early teenager time, the children very listen to us and listen to parents and listen to elders, as she say. They're not questioning anything. Become like 18 something that age, they not under control. They has changed because they are hungry, right? They always looking for something. As the Swamiji say, the 18 to 40, very hard to control that time.
Right.
Yeah. Then we have to be with them. Sometimes we ask, can you do this, do that? They not like to listen. Why I work for him? One time the Zen master, okay, I'm going to some little story. One stubborn boy, the parents cannot control. He decided to send to the temple. Then the Zen temple. Then okay, after that he went to the temple. He saw the high priest working to the like gardening something. And then he go and say his story. My mom say like this, pointing like this. That master didn't care what he said, but he taken what he's saying, understand, but not showing like interesting, like friendly. Everything listening like friendly, and slowly like whatever he say, everything listening. He asked, "Can you help me to the bring some soil to the to garden or something?" Then he like friendly, like when say friends, when friends say something, we willing to help them. Then he tried to help. Then slowly, then after that he give a cup of tea after the work evening. Master make tea and give to him. He drink tea and halfway he put like this. He did not care, like don't care type. Slowly, the master also finish the tea. He go to the sink and wash his cup and put the right place. He asked, can you wash it and put like this, something like that. They listen to them. That is the way, because this time when we talk to the young people, why you not come to temple? They say we have a lot of workload to do, studies, and somebody do part-time job, and rest of the time they stuck with the screen, right? Play game and social media and everything. They don't know how to enjoy the nature.
Right.
Yeah, they don't want to do that too because they think this is the world. But as a parents and like religious teachers, we have responsibility to talk to them like friendly, not like commanding way, like, you know, talk to them, son or daughter, please come out, just play like tennis game or something. Or same time, we have to show up, see how beautiful these flowers, how they blooming, how the flower bud become a flowers and fade away, right? We can give some message from the nature. That is the way we can touch with the young mind, I believe, and our experience, something like that. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante Maitri. I think your message is very clear when you shared that connecting with them, listening to them, right? Giving your listening and showing by example,
That's
right?
That is the
That inspires them more than anything else. So it actually starts from us. It
Yes.
starts with us.
Thank you
you
so
so
much.
much. Yes. Kevalji, if I can ask you to share, you've conducted so many events and you've been so actively involved with the communities for several decades here. What has been your perception in what has moved the youth to living an enlightened life, Jivan Mukti? And what has been their struggles that, through the events and through, the social interactions, how do you feel we have been able to move them? What is the empowerment you've seen?
Okay, I want to give a little different perspective of being Hindu. I hear a lot, Hindu is not a religion, it's just a way of life. I think that's a mistake. Hindu is a religion, but it's also a way of life. We need to make the children understand, yes, we are Hindus, this is the best thing we do, how we work, how we worship. We need to expose them to our, the way of our life. But at the same time, we make them feel that, yes, we are Hindus. If you may remember, Hindus has been a punching bag for many, many centuries, I can say. Muslims try to convert them by force. Christians try to convert them by greed. And that one is still going on. And what I heard is it's not just a story, it's a reality. They have a lot of Christian priests. They say, okay, you're going to make that many, you convert that many Hindus to Christian, you will get this much money. So they are putting out so many false narratives to convert them. I was just talking to my friend Abhinav just now. He told me a story of a girl who was divorced, and she started going to church because she was told, now because you're divorced, Hindus don't like it. They don't like Hindu. So, but we love, doesn't matter. So those kind of narratives need to stop, and we need to make sure that we love our people, whether you are divorced, or single, or you're married, you're Hindu, you're respected same way. And that message we have to tell our children also, that yes, Hindu is a religion, it's also a way of life, and we have a lot of good things we need to explain. I'm myself is guilty that I did not do that to my children, and I'm suffering because of that, because the children have different views. But what their question comes, what's in the religion? So that's what we should teach from when they are children. I see a lot of Christians, they take their children to church, and first thing they teach them, what's Christ, how to worship. And we don't do that. We need to start doing that. Maybe we can have Sunday schools, for hour, 2 hours, teach them what's the way of our life, what is good about being Hindu, and you don't need to run away from it. So those kind of things we need to start doing to connect our youth with us. And also we need to also stand up for all those people who are trying to make, right now I see a lot of Hindus, they are standing up and people don't like it. Now I hear news, they're starting Hindu Tawa. There is phobic type things,
Right.
It's not.
Hindu phobia.
Hindu phobic, they spreading those kind of news. That need to stop, and we need to stand up and tell them, no, that's not true. We are just like everybody else, and we do a lot of good things. We need to explain to them, and whatever they are spreading, those news that we don't like this, don't like that, that is not true. There are a lot of untrue things that are being spread, and that need to stop.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Very, very powerful insight. Actually, if I might request, Abhinavji, I know your 2 children are here with you, and they have come to the temple before. They have participated in a lot of the activities here when they were much younger, right? And today they are, adults who are now, foraying into the adult world with as students, in the workforce.
Yes.
So, do you, if I may ask them to actually share as youth?
In fact, I was waiting for you to ask me, and I wanted them to share.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love to have them come up and share. So you have heard. So will you be able to call them?
Yash.
Yash. Yes. Please.
Manasvi, aap bhi aa jao.
Yeah. So Yash and Manushree have spent a lot of time at the temple here when they were much younger, and they have actually, participated in a lot of activities. As the next generation, I would actually like to ask you, you have heard from all, the adults, the parents, what do you feel will motivate or will help you look within for your empowerment? What will move you into the space of understanding what does religion, the way of life, or the practices of participating in religion, how does that help you in your life? How do you feel the connect, or where do you feel the disconnect, if I might ask you?
Yeah. And there's just so many things to talk about in this topic, but I think starting from like how to connect with the youth, someone mentioned like the idea of having community centers where people feel more like attracted to coming as the youth, like more social activities, like volunteer activities, because I think a lot of it is just like growing up for me, I didn't know where I fit in. Do I fit in with the Western culture, or do I fit in with the Indian culture? Like I thought, oh, this is weird, that's weird. Like I didn't know where to fit in, but and I think that's also because of the gap we had with our adults. Like they didn't understand a lot of things about growing up as like immigrant parents and things like that. So I think just educating both the parents and also the youth on how we can come together, and like mental health is such a big topic that everyone talks about. So, and like personally for me, like all our spiritual values have helped me get out of like mental health issues and things like that. So I think if we push those topics that are relevant to our youth and things like that, there can be a lot of good things.
Wonderful. And how about you, Ma? What would you like to share?
Yes, I definitely agree with everything that my brother said. I think filling in that disconnect would be the most useful thing to bring the youth closer to our religion and way of life.
Wonderful, wonderful, great. So when Swamiji talked today, right, he talked about the great powers, the possibilities, what was the way of life in the past, right? What steps do you think you will take that you would like the support of your elders to manifest the possibilities?
Yeah, I think we just need to come together, like with the adults. Like there just needs to be cohesiveness in the conversation, because I think there's just a disconnect. Like we're all coming here together to talk about all our different perspectives, but like how many youth are here to talk about their perspectives, right? So yeah, I think people are just, there's this is weird, and like there's so many like misconceptions that people have about what religion is, what spirituality is, and I think a lot of it for me is like the rituals and like all these like things, like we don't understand like what they mean. But once I started reading like the Bhagavad Gita and like things like that, then you get the deeper meaning behind these concepts and what these rituals are. And for me personally, I don't like to look at the religious aspect. I like to just look at the more spiritual aspect of things, and that helps me align with it more. So I think that, yeah, that's just my personal reflection. But whatever works for everyone, where we can all come together and like build as a community, I think is what I would want support in.
Fantastic, fantastic, thank you. Actually, I'd like to invite Suhas. So Suhas is, my son, and he has been of late. I mean, initially, let me share, both our kids. So I'll be talking mostly with, Yash and Anushri. Like, so they used to come along with me and Srimukta to the various courses, or to meet Swamiji, to come to the temple, or to interact, and even social interactions, right? See, it's both the religious, the core context of life, and the social interactions. So a lot of it has happened because children come with the parents where the parents go, right? It has been in that context because the understanding or the maturity that comes, it comes over time. So initially they were coming from that space, but of late in the last few years, Suhas has actually taken the steps to find out for himself, right? I have seen that shift happen where he is seeking the answers. He wants to know why Bhagavad Gita is important for him, why are Upanishads important for him, and by reading that and internalizing, why doing a spiritual program with, let's say, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, So Swamiji has been doing programs consistently for decades, right? And he is constantly engaging and empowering people with everything that is part of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. He is truly reviving the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. So in that context, unless you jump in and you make the effort to know, to educate yourself, and to listen, the context will not be set inside. So I'd actually like to ask Suhas that what do you feel are your thoughts to how you can bridge what the social, information, what the social, cultural, aspects that you've seen or you've been part of, to how you have internalized living enlightenment by coming to the temple, doing the spiritual courses with Swamiji, and what significant difference have you seen for yourself? What has been your experiential understanding?
Hello. So I've been coming to the temple for, I'd say 13 years now. So a big part of my life. And when I first came, of course, I didn't understand. I was like, why am I coming to this temple? But it's only been in the past few years that did I actually realize like how much it's benefited my life, how I'm able to handle situations with more maturity, and I'm able to just, I think it became more apparent when I went to college and I started interacting with more and more people, and I got to know their interests, their beliefs, and just how they see the world. And I realized that they're struggling with a lot of things that I don't think, in terms of just like self-awareness maybe, that I've just unknowingly been developing all these years. In terms of getting youth into Hinduism, the most common thing I hear when I bring up that I'm Hindu to someone is they just say, "Oh, I don't know anything about Hinduism." Or the other common answer is, "Oh, that's the caste system," and so I think, in my opinion, it's strongly because of the media that we consume. There's so much media about, all the like alcohol and drugs and all that stuff, and there is a lot of negative media. There's a lot of negative media about that, but then there's also a lot of positive media for some reason, right? That's just how it is, because I feel like people are trying to fill like a void they've created in themselves when that's not really there. And yeah, so just I think the best thing we can do is create media for that intrigues young people, that gets them to think like, oh, this isn't just something like, I think it will just break down stigmas about Hinduism, and I think it's very important that people know, and it'll help a lot of people. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. I really want to thank all three of you for your input. And actually what Suhas and you have said resonated also with what Kevalji was saying. Lack of proper knowledge, right? Sharing the right understandings, the sense of belonging, the awareness and the maturity and the cognitions of the parents and the caregivers, and of all of us as a community, the way we stand by each other and the way we support living enlightenment, Jivan Mukti, right? How do we instill the right, cognition so that the youth are able to take it forward? Because the youth are going to be tomorrow's leaders. They are the torch bearers for the community that is going to enhance and improve the way of life, right? And actually, Kevalji, like you were saying, I fully agree. In fact, I've heard, and through all my courses and my sitting with Swamiji, I've understood that our perceptions, our understandings, and the choices we make, the philosophies that we go and reach and read and try to understand, when we start internalizing a lot of that, we understand what truly becomes our religion. What we practice, the philosophies, the understandings, the cognitions, become our religion. And Sanatana Hindu Dharma is an all-encompassing, religion that talks truly about each and every individual saying, who am I? What is my purpose in life? And how should I achieve it, right? What are the means, the resources that I will utilize that will enable me to be at my peak potential and which will enable the youth to overcome depression or drugs or the weaknesses that come when the right cognitions do not exist inside. And that's very true. So thank you for the sharing. We're actually at the end of the session, but I would like to actually have, if there is anybody who'd like to share something. Dr. Prema? Sure. You can take a mic from there. It's right there. Dr. Prema is a very long-term devotee of Swamiji and as a very active part of our Sangha here. Yes, ma'am.
So Nithyanandam to everyone, and so excited to see so many different VIPs here from different backgrounds and different ages and different services you do to the community. So for me, as an OBGYN doctor practicing for 20 years in Los Angeles, I have so much interaction with the youth, from all age group, especially teenagers, what Swamiji mentioned, from 18 to 40. And I myself have 2 daughters raised in US. I grew up in India, coming here. So for my daughters to be living an enlightened life is connecting them to the enlightened master. The enlightened masters are the rare happening. So there's a Buddha, Jesus, or like Swamiji is one of the rare incarnation now. So when I met Swamiji, all I did was taking my family with me, whether they understood or not. From my younger daughter was 7 years and my older daughter was 10 years old. And I continued to take them, bring them here to the temple, and took to ashram where Swamiji was doing the 21-day programs. What the master does to the children, it's like more than no one, the parents or the teacher or the society, or no one can do the changes what the master initiates them, their DNA changes. What I see in my daughters, like they are very sensitive to life, and especially the older daughter, she went through a very rebellious life as a child, even after meeting Swamiji. But now, with continuously, we are listening to Swamiji, living what he says, and bringing, what we show them as our transformation. More than that, when they start interacting with the living master, the master, what they understand life in a very faster way, and what Swamiji gives them, the intelligence, wisdom, it's not measurable. As a physician, I see a lot of younger kids are on antidepressant and so many 5 or 10 medications by the age 20, 25. They can't handle this complex world. As Swamiji says, modernism is sickness. They are kind of like privacies, everyone has their own world. To break that shell, to break that ignorance, we need our master. So all what I think it works for the younger generation too, to introduce the children to the master, to our living incarnation, Swamiji. I have seen so many miracles. These kids' intuition is way high, and how they understand about not only Hinduism, the entire life of our human life, and how they are shining with their intelligence, wisdom, creativity. And I think that's what, to me, my life personally, and for my children, I think we all can do our contributions, but bringing the kids to the master. And that's more and more powerful. And that's why Swamiji is constantly like working on these younger children to get their intuition, their wisdom, their creativity. They are the future investment. So for the world to change, then we need to bring all these younger children to Swamiji. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Prema. And actually, I'd like to, for a few minutes, open the floor up to those who would like to share. I have here, so you've been from the city of Montclair, and you've been there at the city for the last few years. So would you like to share, having heard so much from various religions and various leaders, what do you feel is the takeaway from a city perspective? Because it is about every component of the community coming together to empower our youth and help make the difference.
Absolutely. So I am 32 years old, and I'd like to share just a little bit of my experience. I grew up in Montclair, and my parents were always involved. My mom volunteered at the senior center when I was in high school and I needed to do my community service hours. I volunteered with the high school after school program at our city, and here I am 20 years later serving on the city council, and it's one of those things that just comes full circle. Studies have shown that being involved in religion, spirituality, does create a sense of belonging and a moral compass for children. But then there's that other component of it, which is there's the greater, the broader, sense of belonging, but then there's the child themselves who needs to feel like they have a purpose in that greater picture. And so when you tell a child they're good, they're worthy, they have a purpose, that child is more likely to act on that. They're more likely to be involved. They're more likely to gain an interest in public service and to become something that they're told that they are when they're young. So we really have an obligation to educate our children, to expose them to the possibilities in our city. And as political leaders, we have the ability to do that by reaching out to our schools, by inviting our children to come meet with us, to host speaking engagements where we can explain what we do for a living and how they might be able to do something similar if that's what they're interested in. And really just to get them involved. Now, I am a huge proponent of educating when it comes to religion. I attended a Christian school growing up, and when it was time for me to go to college, I was able to be introduced to all kinds of different religions. I took a religion course that had me visiting various temples and churches and mosques, and it was eye-opening, and it felt like to me that I had really been hidden from all the different potentials. So I think it's important to educate the children as to what the possibilities are, what the different beliefs are, why you practice a particular belief, what your culture is, so that they are able to make informed decisions, and so that they're able to have that sense of belonging because they fully understand why their culture and their family is the way that it is. And so if you teach the children when they're younger, then they really develop that sense of belonging, and they're able to identify a purpose and connect that belonging to their purpose.
Wonderful. Very, very well said, Carissa. Thank you so much. And I fully agree with you. And I think you have shared from the space of a person who has had a wonderful environment supporting you and helping you have the right ambience or the environment required for the choices you have made. And thank you so much for the sharing. In fact, we are looking, I think the city, the state, the different religions, the different communities, it is important for all of us to get together and create this environment for each and every person, right? And it becomes our moral responsibility to ensure that we give our listening to our kids and connect with them at the level at where they are to take the right decisions with an informed and empowered way, right? It is, in the past, we have always seen, oh, if you don't study, you won't get this. If you don't do this, then this will not happen. That fear, the social pressures, it is how you teach the next generations to be empowered that nothing from the outside can impact you. It is your choice and the cognition you hold that is going to truly empower for you to manifest powers, for you to manifest the realities that you want, and to experience the right cognitions for life, right? Is anybody else having?
Something.
Yes, Keshevji would like to share something.
Thank you. Thank you. Swamiji, I may give you only two statements of Swamiji, that in Hinduism, in our community, there is no gangsters. There is not a group of gangsters who makes a lot of crime in the society. That's one. Secondly, in our community also, means Hinduism, least crime incidents. These two statements itself indicates the greatness of our religion. This is one part. Second thing, if you think or make us research about the modern sciences, whatever we are teaching here, modern science, even computer and everything, the roots of all these sciences and knowledge are lying in Vedas. Vedas is a lot of things there we don't understand, we don't know something even. But if once our youth know about the greatness of all these our Vedas and effect of our mantras and the environment what we
No, we can hear you. Yes.
environment what we get it created when we do yajna like that, then youth will definitely come to the temple and they will do the ritual whatever we are doing and with pleasure. So in any way we should make them understand that we should be proud of being Hinduism, because Hinduism is, as we said on every no, it's a way of life. But which life? Is it a life of crime? No. This is the happiest life you can live if you follow Hinduism, principle of Hinduism. That is the things what we have to teach and make the youth understand. Then they will automatically understand. And there are many things to discuss. We can discuss, but not here. It is short time. So this is the things what I think.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, thank you so much. We'll have one last comment. Oh, before. Yes, yes. So one last comment. Amritji would like to share something, and then we'll give the mic to Koriza.
Thank you very much, Ma Mukta ji, for arranging all this seminar. I've been here, this is my second time here. Swamiji spoke very well. Modernism, Hinduism, way of life, Agams, Bhagavad Gita. I'm a Jain. We have 46 Agams. That's way of life. Now, kids here had dilemma. We are first generation immigrants here. 40, 50, 60 years we are here. Now, children born here, they see different atmosphere between home and school. School, they have hamburger, they have spaghetti. At home, they have dal bhat, masala dosa. Their clothes are different. Then religious, they don't understand. They only know Jesus Christ in the school. They do not know the Hachigirani, Shivaji, or Mahatma Gandhi. They know Kennedy, George Washington, all this taught in a school, history. They don't know Hinduism. Unless we tell them and sit down with them, discuss, they would not know. Same thing about vegetarian, non-vegetarian food. They think chicken, beef is a food. We explain them that chicken has a life. He walks, looks, so is beef and cows. So unless we explain them, then they understand. Now we are Jains, we are vegetarian. My two kids, they were vegetarian, then medical school and all that. But they understand now why Jainism is different and why is way of life. Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism, it's way of life that our kids need to know.
Right.
And only way you can connect them through father, mother talking to them. We have in Jain Center, we have Pathshala, last 20 years, every other Sunday. Tomorrow is Pathshala, there is lunch for everybody can come, in Jain Center, Buena Park. We teach them what kids want to know. And that is very important. Nowadays, most of the Swaminarayans, they have Pathshala, Bal Vihar, Gurudwaras have it. That is a very good way of doing it, educating our kids.
Correct.
That Hinduism, we are different because our culture goes back thousands and thousands of years.
Right.
And they need to know that, and once you explain them, they understand and they prefer Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism. Thank you.
Yes. Actually, I'd like to add to that saying that each and every tradition you talked about, right? Tradition is unique and empowering.
Right.
So it is how we maximize the benefit, maximize what we bring, what brings us closer to our core success. That is what we need to look for and pass it on to the next generation. Thank you so much, Amriji, for that. Yes. And now I'll request Shri Mukta, if you can please. Councilwoman Coriza has something to share. Yes. You please come. Please.
Thank you again for having me and for allowing the City of Montclair to join your event today. On behalf of the City of Montclair, I'd like to present the Certificate of Recognition for your 15th anniversary. Thank you very much for being a part of our community and for enriching our city.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much.
I want to say that although we are in Montclair, Montclair is very much in us. And without the support of the city, from the very beginning, when the temple was inaugurated, the mayor of Montclair was here, Bill Rue, I believe, at the time.
No.
Yes. Yeah, so he was there, and ever since, in every anniversary, the city has participated with us and been our partner in everything that we do. So we could not do this without you. And I think we are a family, and we're really lucky to be here. And thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And I'd like to add to what Sri Muktananda was saying, that we feel so fortunate that we are here in Montclair, and we are striving to, support the communities here and be a part of all the initiatives that are coming through the city of Montclair and the other cities around. And it is our privilege to be able to contribute to the communities. And we look forward to working with the city on many more initiatives, whether it's with youth, whether it's with hunger, whether it's with adults, women's empowerment. We're ready and we're set for it. So we'll do that. And I wanted to thank each and every guest of honor who's here. You have made a difference. Your contributions, your thoughts, your understandings are truly going to help the youth have the right cognitions. Our discussions and our understandings, and with Swamiji's grace and blessings, he has given a very, very powerful message. And like I had shared at the beginning, it is time we took action. It is time we came together to make a difference for our children, for our next generations, before we lose them, right? And before society takes over. Let us bring the environment, let us create a very highly spiritual ecosystem that supports each and every person who is here. So I want to personally thank everybody for coming and making this event a very beautiful and profound one. And I thank the youth representatives for sharing their thoughts. We'll work with you, that's a commitment from us. And we will ensure that both parents and the youth are supported, and the right understandings of why religion, what does living enlightenment mean, what does it mean to know who you are and how to achieve your success is truly a part of your journey. So that's the commitment from us. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, for giving us an opportunity to bring all of you together here today, and looking forward to many, many more opportunities and interactions to truly make a difference. So on that note, we will actually have the procession happen to ceremoniously take Swamiji's Padakas back to the Garbha Mandir. I will request everybody to please stand as a mark of respect and honor. Thank you so much. Great. Now we will end the session with a Purna Mantra. That is where we ask for blessings and auspiciousness and a completion of everything. And then once we are done, we will move to the temple for the special arati that will be offered to all the deities and for everybody to be blessed. So please join me in the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudarchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you, everybody. If you could please follow me into the temple.